Welcome back to the channel. And today we're diving into a story that comes in two parts. And it's the connection between those two parts that makes this whole thing so incredibly satisfying to talk about. Because at first glance, it looks like two completely separate moments. On one side, you have Choo Hoon openly praising Jungkook after meeting him in person. And on the other side, you have the official announcement that Jimin and Jungkook are both set to appear as guests on his variety show. Two different headlines, two different moments. But when you line them up, when you actually look at the timing, the sequence of events, and what was said versus what happened next, one word starts to stand out. Not coincidence. Destiny. And today, we're unpacking all of it. Let's start from the beginning, because the first part of this story is already powerful on its own. At the center of everything is Choo Hoon. Now, if you're not familiar with him, here's why his reaction matters. He's not just another celebrity given compliments. He's a former professional MMA fighter, someone who built his entire career on discipline, pressure, and the ability to read people in high-stakes situations. This is someone who has spent years analyzing opponents, looking for weaknesses, spotting flaws in seconds. He's not easily impressed. He's not the kind of person who throws out praise casually. And that's exactly why what he said about Jungkook carried so much weight. Because when he talked about meeting him, it wasn't polished, it wasn't filtered, it wasn't fan-like, it was honest. He described seeing Jungkook in real life and being genuinely surprised, not just by his looks, but how natural everything felt. Not a staged kind of attractiveness, but something real, immediate, almost disarming. He talked about how polite Jungkook was, how easy he was to talk to, how comfortable the interaction felt. And then he said something that instantly stuck with everyone. He said he tried to find a flaw. He looked for something, anything, that would make Jungkook seem more ordinary, and he couldn't. No downside, no weakness, just perfection. Now think about that for a second. A man trained to find flaws, saying he couldn't find one. That's what made this moment so powerful, especially for ARMY, because fans have been saying this about Jungkook for years. His talent, his personality, his presence, but fan opinions are often brushed off as bias. This wasn't that. This was someone completely outside that world, seeing him for the first time and arriving at the exact same conclusion. And that kind of validation hits differently. Now here's where things get interesting, because if the story ended there, it would already be memorable. But it didn't. Shortly after those comments started spreading, another announcement dropped, and this is where everything started to feel connected. Jimin and Jungkook, together, confirmed as guests on Choo Hoon's variety show. And in that moment, everything clicked. Because think about the sequence. First, he meets Jungkook and is so impressed that he publicly calls him flawless. Then, not long after, he ends up hosting Jungkook and Jimin. That's not just timing. That feels like alignment. Because this isn't just any show appearance. Korean variety shows are built differently. They're not just interviews, they're designed to bring out the real person behind the image. Unscripted reactions, spontaneous moments, genuine interactions. And Choo Hoon as a host adds something unique to that space. He's direct, honest, unfiltered. The same honesty that made his comments about Jungkook stand out is exactly what creates real moments on his show. Now, put Jimin and Jungkook into that environment. Two people who have known each other for years, who trained together, grew together, went through everything side by side. Their chemistry isn't forced. It's natural, playful, comfortable, effortless. And when that kind of energy shows up in a variety setting, it creates something special, something you can't script. And that's why this moment matters, beyond just entertainment. Because this isn't just about a show. It's about exposure in the most genuine way possible. It's about people who might not follow BTS getting to see who they really are, not as performers, but as people. That's exactly what happened with Choo Hoon himself. He didn't meet Jungkook as a fan, he met him as a person. And that one interaction was enough to completely shift his perspective. Now imagine that happening on a larger scale. Viewers tuning in out of curiosity and leaving with a completely different understanding. That's the real impact. That's the real story. And when you step back and look at everything together, the meeting, the reaction, the announcement, the timing, it stops feeling random. It starts feeling inevitable. Because sometimes, when something is real enough, it naturally leads to something bigger. Choo Hoon said Jungkook was perfect, but what he didn't realize was that the story was just getting started. Because next, he got Jimin and Jungkook together, and that changes everything. ARMY already knew that. Now, everyone else is about to see it for themselves. Coincidence? Not even close. Some things are just meant to happen. Thank you for watching. Let me know what moment stood out to you the most. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. See you in the next one.